Hello, Opus family. Welcome to Water Cooler Wednesday. So, my name is Kayla. I'm the client account consultant here at Opus Management. And every Wednesday, we hop on here and go live on our platforms just to kind of talk, see what's going on with you guys each week, and just kind of discuss some things. So depending on what's going on, what questions you guys might have, any of those pieces. And honestly, most of the times it'll be run by you guys, things that you submit on our social media, whether that's through Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, or even on YouTube. We love to hear from you guys. So it's still morning here in Texas. So just a quick introduction. My name is Kayla. I'm the client account consultant here at Opus Management, and we are a business consulting firm that really and truly wants to bring enterprise options to small and mid-sized businesses, right? So there's a lot of things that are out there for our larger businesses that cost quite a bit of money, and our goal is to bring some solutions to smaller businesses that will allow them to operate in that field. So how do you make your HR more streamlined? How do you reach a larger clientele base? Things like that. So that's just a little bit about us. You can find us on any social media platform. If you search for Opus Management, you'll see the little teal and purple icon. That is ours. And then you can find us on our website, opusmanagement.us. We also have a social media and marketing website, opusmanagementdesigns.com. You can find us there. On both of those, it'll allow you to schedule time with us, either to do a discovery and find out how we can help your business, or to set up one-on-one meetings. So we would love for you guys to follow along, submit your questions, and join us each Wednesday. So typically I'm on here at about 11:30. I think we're going to try to shift the time a little bit. We might move it forward a bit just to see. This isn't always the optimum time for everyone, and my schedule is pretty flexible. So with that, let's hop in this week. So we've been talking about people, and so last week I missed you guys. I was off in Tulsa. Pardon me. Ooh, excuse me. I was off in Tulsa at a horse show. I took the second half of the week off to go show at the NSBA World Show with my horse. And it got me thinking, right? So for these big shows that I've attended and shown at, and some of them I have gone and worked for a friend kind of on the side. There's a lot of preparation that goes into that. And, I spent a lot of time thinking about, what goes into, what do I have to take? What are all the tools that I'm going to need while I'm there? What's the backup pieces for it? And I think that in our day-to-day work lives, a lot of us are currently just kind of reacting to what's going on. So we're not being prepared. We're not stepping into the week and looking at what's going on with the week, finding where we maybe need to block some time off to prepare for either a big meeting, a presentation, or a launch that's coming up, and kind of taking that time to look forward. So that can get us into some trouble. There's definitely some options that we've got that we could always show you on planning, on your project management piece, kind of help you guys, take ownership of what's going on, schedule things out, put things on, if you've got other people that you're partnering with on a project, we can, put that on their calendar, on their radar. They're going to get notifications. It's going to keep them on track, keep them up to date, which ultimately will keep you up to date and keep things moving forward. So then that way you're prepared. Things aren't just coming up last minute and you're not putting out fires. Because there's nothing that makes you feel worse than having to rush around and get up get going and get ready. And I say that because it did happen to me. One of the mornings while we were showing, I happened to just wake up only 30 minutes prior to having to go in the show pen. And that's a scary thing because I've got a horse to warm up that's got to get dressed. I've got to get dressed and ready, and we've got to get across the fairgrounds and be ready to go into that arena prepared and our mindset right. Same thing with meetings. You've got to have your mindset right. You want to go over those things before you walk into it. You want to be prepared before going in, right? So like if questions get thrown at you and, what kind of conversation, what does that conversation look like? When you've got people that are balking at an idea or that maybe aren't as open to what you're presenting. And then also having ways to keep people on track, especially now that we've got so many remote meetings and so many options. How do you keep your attendees on track with you as you're moving forward? How do you keep them engaged? How do you keep them listening? And a lot of that comes from just being prepared and kind of making note of, hey, this might be where we're going to get bogged down, or this is where, the material gets kind of dry. So you've got to find a way to engage. Make sure that you're taking breaks in there. Make sure that, you've got these things planned out. If you're going to be presenting with someone else, have you guys walked through it? Don't just, a lot of it we kind of wing because we don't want it to be robotic by reading off a screen or a slide or a piece of paper, because that doesn't come across genuine. If we're not coming across genuine, then your audience really isn't going to connect with you. That's why you guys will hear me sometimes get off track in these things. Like, I have an idea and I have a rough outline typically of what's been asked and what we're looking at and what's going on, but I don't always lock into, this is what I've got to say. I have my highlight points. We'll get to the bullet points. We'll get to the things that I want to talk about kind of around this preparation thing, right? But I don't lock into a very set script. This is not a speech. I am not here to stand in front of, my whatever that class was in college that you had to take and give a speech. I don't have to have it memorized. I don't have to have it timed out. There's a lot of fluidity that can go into this. So, but think about that. So when you sit down, and I will tell you, Sunday night for me is better than Monday morning, because typically Monday morning is one of those things like you almost always got to jump right in because there's something that is maybe on fire that needs to be dealt with. But think about it Sunday, look at your schedule, look at what's coming up, plan that time. If I've got a meeting on Tuesday, then I want time blocked off on Monday to sit and prepare for that. To have that ready so that it's good to go. And then I also give myself a break or a blocked set of time right before it. So we use Calendly a lot to schedule meetings. It just makes it easier when people are scheduling. I don't have to go back and forth. We don't have to make those decisions via 2050 emails. I can, hey, here's a link. It's linked to my calendar. It knows when I've got meetings, what I've got going on, which now that school started back up, I've got to block off the time to pick up my daughter off the bus and drop her off in the morning. But I can put all that information in there. Calendly will look and say, hey, here's that time. Here's where you can schedule this meeting. So my link says you've got 30 minutes or an hour. It's going to look for that free time. But I also add in there, hey, give me 10, 15 minutes, depending on what the meeting's for, kind of to prepare so that I can look back over notes. I can go back over our last meeting, right? So if it's a follow-up meeting or a touch base for a project that's going on, I can look back over what's been done. I can connect if I need to connect with somebody beforehand. Typically it's my IT support or the project manager on the project. And we can kind of, make sure that we're on the same page. There's not anything outstanding. Who's going to kick what off? We've got an idea of what's going to happen, and then we can just go from there. And it just takes some of the ambiguity out of it. Allows us to be prepared and allows us to get things done better and, a lot quicker. And it also is going to help your sanity too, right? So my and maybe it's 15 minutes on Sunday, right? Like Sunday, I'm going to open up my calendar for the week. I'm going to take a look at it and I'm going to say, okay, I have a touch base meeting on Project A on Tuesday. I have Water Cooler Wednesday on Wednesdays. Obviously, it's Wednesdays if it's Water Cooler Wednesday. But I have that. I've got, 2 meetings on Thursday, and Friday we've got 2 new clients that are coming in. So those are my set meetings, right? So now I know what's in there. I can go in and block off time on Monday to prepare for Tuesday's meeting if it's first thing. Then, I can find time on Wednesday to prepare for either Wednesday morning or, on Tuesday to prepare for Water Cooler Wednesday, kind of just get some thoughts down, follow up on anything that's come across on social media, get that stuff gathered and ready to go. And then, I can block that time off. I can schedule meetings. So, if Thursday's meeting requires me to have my IT programmer on, then I can set up some time Wednesday afternoon with them so that we can ensure we've done everything from the last meeting, everything's prepped, ready to go. We can move on to the next step. Okay, what is it that we're going to need from the client or the customer? What is it that we're going to need them to do? We have that game plan set out. So just, with everything in life, a little bit of preparation is going to take and cut down a lot of that time. And I think that sometimes we get too in the moment and not looking and putting out the fires and not kind of looking ahead to prepare ourselves for some of those fires. So, schedule that time in, block it off, add your time block. If you're looking at the thing, it's some of the stuff from the book, The One Thing, blocking that time off in the morning so that you're prepared. Not only to do your one thing, but also have the rest of your stuff taken care of. It really is going to help you mentally be prepared for the day, mentally be at your best, give a better performance, and then ultimately, it's gonna lead you to your goals. And I think that's something that I'm guilty of it, getting in the weeds and just taking care of what the issue is at the time, as opposed to actually being prepared and already having the stuff planned out. So sometimes there's too many things on our plate and you just get done what has to be done in that moment. I think that we see a lot more of it than we realize in people that work for us or even people we work with, just because of the different neurodiversities that are out there. And part of that is, and for me especially too, is like having that deadline on that timeline, on a timeline, having a deadline really pushes you to finish something up. Like I can, calculate, it's going to take me this long to do X, Y, Z, like what's got to be done. And then the dopamine is just a little bit different when, you get it all done and then, oh, hey, I've got an extra 15 minutes before this starts. But that's on a totally different topic that I am nowhere near educated enough. ADHD in the workplace probably should be at some point, but maybe we'll use that for a later Water Cooler Wednesday down the road and find out how you guys not only manage your own ADHD, but how do you manage, partners that have it with you. So I hope everybody's having a wonderful Wednesday. We are halfway through the work week, halfway through the work day today. My name is Kayla. I'm the client account consultant here at Opus Management. I hope that you guys have got some great things planned this week. We would love to hear from you on any of our social media. I would love to see you guys back here next week, roughly the same time. Turn your notifications on so that you get notified when we go live, whether that's via Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, or Twitter. But we would love to have y'all have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your week. We're coming to the close of August, so don't forget to be reassessing those goals. Decide what's going to be important in September, and let's kick this next month's butt.